Welcome back. A lot to get to with my next guest. Very happy. First time I speak with him. Luc Rabouin is the new, more recent president of Montreal's executive committee. He's also the borough mayor for the Plateau. He joins us now. Mr. Rabouin, pleasure to meet you over the radio.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. So, I have to ask you about the ice this morning. A lot of tricky navigation for a lot of people. We had the same types of questions regarding the last storm about the ice on the sidewalks. Now this morning, reports of the ice munchers or the ice breakers, whatever you want to call them, that the city bought a while ago that is not being used. Anyways, do you feel the city's doing enough as a whole in dealing with these types of storms?
The city is doing all the efforts we can do. I had just an hour ago an update from in the Plateau, because I'm the mayor of the Plateau. The update about the situation. Our teams work all the night to put some rocks before we have the precipitation, and now we are putting salt and rocks over all the sidewalks we have. We did 2/3 at 10 o'clock. We had already done 2/3 of the sidewalks. The sidewalks on the big arterial streets are on the concrete, so it's good. But the challenge is really the small streets, and we're supposed to have finished this afternoon. And we know the weather will also be special during the next days. So we work, and our teams are on the field. They do everything we can do at this moment.
I still get the question. I lived it this morning. On a day like today, see the bike paths being cleared and the sidewalks and the streets not as well. It's always perplexing to see.
Yeah, but when we put salt on the street or on the bike path, it works because it's asphalt. It's black, and with the pressure of the tires, it helps. On the sidewalk, it's concrete. So, and the pedestrian doesn't have the same friction. And we have really less bike paths than sidewalks. But I can assure you, in the Plateau, and it's everywhere the same thing in Montreal, the priority is on the sidewalks.
All right. Moving on, we won't just talk about criticism this morning. You announced some good news yesterday for small businesses in Montreal.
Yes. So Montreal we announced with PME Montreal. You know, PME Montreal is the main organization in Montreal that has the mandate from the city to support, accompany, and propose some financial options to small businesses around Montreal. So we announced almost $37 million. We have 6 offices of PME Montreal in Montreal to be sure that we are able to support local enterprises where they are. They don't all have to go to downtown. They have an office close from their home. So it's very good news because we have an agreement for the next 3 years. So it gives them visibility, and it's also a good news for small businesses who need, in this period, very hard period, they need to be able to speak with professionals because maybe they have to face a critical situation. They can talk with professionals, and they can also look at from financing options.
You're now the number 2 of the Projet Montréal administration. You're the president of the executive committee of the city. First of all, how does it feel?
Yeah, it's a big responsibility. I'm very honored that the mayor of Montreal has this confidence on me. I'm very proud of that, but it's a big challenge, and I'm ready to do it.
Okay, so I want your take on the housing situation in Montreal. Yeah. I asked Mayor Plante this last week when I spoke with her, but I'm going to ask you again. I keep getting the same numbers, the same comments from a lot of people across the spectrum on the housing issue. The question of the red tape, the administrative red tape at the city of Montreal seems to be a major issue. The authorizations, the regulations, the 2020. there seems to be a real problem in Montreal, especially when you compare it with Toronto, when you compare to Vancouver, when you compare to other cities, that there seems to be much more of a problem with the red tape in Montreal than anywhere else, and it's a big problem for a lot of people. What's your response?
Yeah, so I am in charge of cellules facilitatrices that we worked for 2 years with promoters, with developers to find out what are the real challenges and what we can change in the short term, but also in mid and long term, different things. And we have now four boroughs that are in the pilot project where we are following right now 90 development projects to be sure that we are able to make it faster. And we learn from that what we can change to be sure that we are more efficient. So this is a real problem. We recognize that and we work on that. But I have to say that when I talk with developers, they also say Montreal is complicated, but Toronto also. So it's not just in Montreal, but in Toronto, there's two big differences when we compare Montreal to Toronto. Toronto, the provincial government has decided to give
a tax break.
Tax
the sales
break.
The sales tax break.
This is very important financially in the project. We don't have it in Quebec.
True.
And the second thing is because the cost of construction, almost the same Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah.
The delay, the processes, complicated in both situations. But in Toronto, we have more rich people who are able to pay the real price of the market that we don't have this amount of people here in Montreal. So we have to, in the city of Montreal, because we don't have that, we have to be more efficient to reduce the cost of the promoters in our delay. But I just want that people understand it's not the same market. So it's why also it continues to work, the development in Toronto and not in Montreal.
So this is interesting. This is a new one in terms of explaining the situation. But when I look at Toronto and Vancouver, they are increasing their housing starts, whereas here we are at 10, 20, 30-year lows in terms of housing starts. And is your explanation basically saying, oh, it's because the Quebec government doesn't give the sales tax break, and also because we're poorer here in Montreal?
I don't say that it's the unique reason. I just want that people understand all the picture of the situation. And I told, and I will repeat it, we have to be more efficient on our processes. Okay. This is the part of the problem that is under our control at the municipality. We can face that. But there's some things like the tax rate, we don't have control on that.
Yeah.
So
no, that's fair. That's fair.
It's the only thing I tell. But we have responsibilities. We're working on that, and we want to be better.
Okay, my final question, Mr. Rabouin, is about the big $1.8 billion 10-year revitalization plan that the mayor announced last week for downtown Montreal. The main criticism I saw from across the board was the question about safety. Especially when you're looking at St. Catherine, the Village, Émilie Gamelin, but elsewhere also, that it doesn't seem to be a priority of this plan. There's a lot of concerns about public safety in the city of Montreal right now. The Jewish community, for example, that's a completely different file, but it doesn't seem that we're talking enough about safety right now. Your thoughts?
We're talking a lot about safety, and safety improved in Montreal a lot during the last 2 years, if you remember the situation 2 years ago. But it's a real problem downtown Montreal, the feeling of safety of people who want to go there as a client, as a visitor, or as a worker. This is very important. And what we said when we launched the economic strategy for downtown is that the question of the increasing of person in extreme vulnerability in Montreal, but particularly in downtown, we work that beside the economic strategy of downtown because we work on that with community groups and the public health sector with us, the City of Montreal, in another plan in parallel. We are able to do two things at the same time. And we know that it's a real challenge. It's a real problem. We said that. The mayor said that. So, we cannot put everything, all the challenges in the same plan, but we are working on both. Revitalization of our downtown, the economic situation, and also the vulnerability with other partners. It's just not the same partners around the table. But the city is on both tables.
All right. Thank you. That's all the time I have, unfortunately. I really appreciate your time this morning, Mr. Rabouin.
It's a pleasure.
Take care. Luc Rabouin is the president of Montreal's executive committee and also the mayor of Le Plateau Borough.